Assalamualaikum. Today we will discuss powder metallurgy process. Powder metallurgy is a forming process using metal powder which undergo compression to form required shape. From the name of the process, we can easily describe the process itself. The definition of powder means that a small grain size of materials, and metallurgy refer to the metals, ferrous or non-ferrous metal. Okay, powder metallurgy is a component that are made by compacting metal powder in high precision dies and then heating the resultant preformed part temperature below its melting point. We call it sintering process. Heating process is to increase the strength of the powder metallurgy part, causing the compressed metal powder to bond together. Okay, the red color word in the red color means the important process in powder metallurgy. The first one is compacting metal powder. So powder metal will undergo the compression process to form the required shape, and then it will then goes to the heating process, which we heat below the melting temperature of the powder metal. And then what happened after the heating process, the grain of the metal powder will contact to each other and create a bonding between them. So heating process, we call it the sintering process, which the compressed metal powder bond together to increase its strength. Okay, the example of powder metallurgy product used in many applications in agricultural equipment, gears, housing, bushing, and transmission part. For automotive industries, used for products such as gear, pump components, cam, lever, spacer, shock absorber. For machine component such as gears, bushing, and they also used in the electrical and electronic components, hardware, and many industrial applications such as machinery components, cams, and others part can be produced using powder metallurgies. Okay, this page, this slide show the process involved in powder metallurgies. So there are four main process. The main process is a four, and the secondary process, there are several secondary process. We will discuss later. Okay, the main process is we start with the powder production. It's a process to produce a metal powder. And then the metal powder will go to the second step, is a blending and mixing, which we blend and mix the metal powder with additional material such as copper, carbon, nickel, lubricant, and all done in a dry condition. And then all the mixture of powder will goes to the compacting phase, which the mix of powder is put into the tools, and then will compress from both sides, above and below. They will compress the mixture in the between, and then The product of the compacting is we get the required shape of the product, and then the product from compacting we call it green part. So the green part of the powder metallurgy will goes to the sintering process, which the compacted part or green part placed in the high temperature sintering furnace. So temperature between 1100 to 1150 degrees, where the iron powder will bond together. The effect of bonding, it will increase the strength of the part. Okay, this is 1, 2, 3, and 4 is the main process in powder metallurgy. The secondary operation is optional. Either we can apply sizing, we put it in the machine and compress to get the required final shape, and then we can also do a machining to improve the surface, and barreling, coating, another additional heat treatment to improve the properties, and other process such as shot blasting, induction heating, parkerizing, and steam treatment. Okay, and then an additional secondary operation is infiltration and impregnation. So we will discuss later. And then the next process is inspection to check the quality of the product, and then if nothing goes wrong, we can ready to pack the final product or finished products and ship to the customer. Okay, the powder production, there are two common process to produce the powders. The first one is a gas atomization, and then the second one is a centrifugal atomization. For the gas atomization, the molten metal will be sprayed in the form of small particle of metal will be sprayed, and the small particle of molten metal exposed to the atmosphere, and then it will automatically rapidly change its shape, change its phase from liquid to solid. Yeah. When we spray and release to the atmosphere, the molten metal will expose to the atmosphere and rapidly change its phase to become the solid, and then goes down at the bottom of the tank. Okay, for the centrifugal atomization, the molten metal will put in the container, and then there is a hole below the container. The molten metal will goes down, and at the bottom of the container, below the container, they have a cylindrical disc or rotating disc. We rotate at a very high speed, and then the molten metal will be spray outward, and it will impact to the wall, and then exposed to the atmosphere rapidly change its phase from liquid to solid, and goes down as a small particle of metal powder. And then the metal powder will goes to the blending and mixing process, which in this process, the metal powder is mixed with the nickel, silver, iron silver, and various grade of stainless steel. The objective to mix with the other material is to impart special physical and mechanical properties and characteristics of powder metallurgy product. And remember, the lubricant also added to the metal powder to reduce the friction during compaction process. Mixing process is very important so that the additional material is uniformly mixed blend in the inside the mix with the powder metallurgy. Okay, there is many method for the blending process, and we can use rotation in a drum, rotation in a double cone, and agitation at the screw mixer, and stirring in the blade. Okay, for the powder compaction, there is two common method we can apply. The first one is a tool and die actuated. This figure show the first method, and then the second one is a cold isostatic press. The lower figure show the isostatic pressing. Okay, for the common tools and die, okay, we refer to the figure. Okay, we have a die and we have a upper punch and lower punch. Because of our product is hollow in the middle, so we have to provide the core. Okay, the powder metal will be placed inside the die. Okay, and then the upper punch will goes down and lower punch will goes up and compress the powder metal. At the end of the process, when we open it, the die the punch, we will get the compressed part. Okay, for the isostatic or hydrostatic pressing, so we have a container, a vessel, pressure vessel, and then inside here we put a liquid or fluid. Usually we can use a water, and then in the middle we have a mold, silicone rubber mold, and then inside the silicone rubber mold we put the metal powder. The gray one color is a metal powder, and because of the product is a hollow, so we put the metal mandrel in the middle of the mold. Okay, so what happened here? Okay, you see here the pressure, the hole one, there is a hole pressure. We apply the pressure source, we apply through the hole, and it will increase the hydrostatic pressure inside the vessel. So hydrostatic pressure will press in all direction, every surface of the mold. So the compaction process using the isostatic forming process is much better in terms of quality, because the pressure is uniformly distributed at every corner, every space of the mold. The most common pressure is around 400 megapascal. Sintering process. So after the compaction process, the product is a green part. It retains its shape but lower strength. So in order to increase the strength, the metal powder need to go to the next process. We call it the sintering process. So I will continue the sintering process in the next videos. Thank you very much.